a person has ever embodied the term hot mess quite as much as TanaMojo.
What's going on?
I need everybody to move and clear this out because we have the paramedics coming in.
You're not gonna get kicked out of here unless you do some stupid ass.
They just canceled TanaCon. Swear to God. Everybody, their money. Yeah.
So I'm not even sure why I'm choosing to cover this, because honestly I'm sure everyone's going to cover it before I even get the chance to upload it, but I really wanted to talk about TanaCon because it is just, wow. It is a lot. It is 2018's DashCon, or Firefest. And honestly, to preface this, I really don't blame TanaMojo for this. I don't solely blame her. I really think that everyone has a lot of blame, and I know that she blames herself for most of this, but I think it was just a product of its own ambition. I think that she just had a lot of really good intentions, and she really didn't know how to actually do what she wanted to do. I know for a fact that I would not know the first thing to do if I were going to plan a convention. Convention planning is not an easy thing to do. It's not something that anybody can just jump into, and I know for a fact that if you're going to start a convention, you're gonna have growing pains. Every single year that you do your convention, it's gonna get a little bit better, but the first year, especially that first year you do it, it's gonna have to be small and it's gonna have a lot of problems. And so that's one of the things that I think TanaCon really kind of suffered from, is that first of all, it was a product of its own publicity. It got too popular and they didn't have a cutoff point. They booked the Marriott Suites, which by the way, I actually, when I was coming back to my hotel from a party at VidCon, I accidentally put down that I was going to the Marriott Suites instead of the Marriott at the Anaheim Convention Center. So me and my Lyft driver had to figure out where to go, and so I kind of have a little bit of personal experience just being in that parking lot. No one told her, hey, we booked the Marriott Suites and the biggest hall here only holds 1,000 people and change, but you know, let's, by all means, let's continue just booking 5,000 plus people. That's really not a great idea. You need to be able to host the people who are able to go. You know, I get that it was a great intention to have this be inclusive where anybody could show up, but the sheer fact that you knew that your venue was not a TARDIS and could not just magically make it so that everyone could fit, you knew that. It's a building. It has its limits. That one really bothers me. It really didn't seem like that great of a planning process. And that's really what it boils down to. No one really planned this properly. So that's one thing, is that there was no planning. It really does piss me off that that really, due to this lack of planning, a lot of people ended up screwed over. A lot of fans wanted to meet these creators that they loved for years or whatever, and they weren't able to because these people didn't plan properly. If people had a cutoff point where only 1,000 people could actually go, then people would have been like, well, I get to go next year. I might be able to go next year, and hopefully they'll have the same lineup or more. And they would have been like, hey, at least next time I will be able to meet this person, or hopefully next time I will. Not be like, I showed up, I paid all of this money to show up here in Anaheim, and now I have a bad sunburn and I just passed out from the heat, and now I just have a TanaCondom. That's literally what a lot of people ended up getting. It was a product of too much ambition, bad planning, and the fact that no one told her, don't host it during VidCon. Marvel idea, how about we decide to compete with VidCon not during VidCon? How about we decide that instead of doing VidCon, maybe we can have our fans come a little bit later. Maybe later in the summer, or maybe earlier in the summer, or maybe not during the summer at all. You don't need to directly compete with VidCon. You can indirectly compete with it at a later date, but no one was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have this happening at the exact same time as VidCon. They did not think this through properly. Seriously, some of the images, some of the videos, hilarious. Sad, but hilarious. I really hope that someone else comes up with another idea and actually thinks this through. I think that VidCon should have a competitor. I think that there should be competition there. Maybe the season for VidCon being the only game in town for a convention for videos is over. And I know that Kilroy is a huge joke and it deserved to be. Kilroy being the answer to the VidCon question for the anti-SJW political side of things. I know that it's a joke, but I really wish it wasn't. It's harder for people to actually do it now, especially in this specific field. It's hard when you have this failed cloud of Kilroy looming over everyone and being like, hey, you failed last time, you're gonna fail again at this convention thing. And I think that there should be opportunities for people in this community and sphere to really meet their fans and collaborate with each other in person, because the one-on-one communication is actually amazing. It's something that I really didn't think was gonna be as amazing as it was. It was more rewarding to me than I thought it would be. And I think that it's really important for that to be something that we have as more political YouTubers. I don't have many fans, and a lot of people who were at VidCon who were fans didn't know who I was, but I love to see everyone interacting with their fans. It was great to see that, and it was great to meet the people that I really honestly was inspired by when I started my YouTube channel. So I think that that should be something for every single different community. The gaming community, the vlogging community, the beauty guru, whatever community. I think that that really should be something that every community should have. And it might be time for the VidCon, the whole one hub for all of your convention needs for online video thing, to really retire. It might be time for VidCon to kind of downsize, and to, obviously it'll still be about meeting creators, but it's too big for what it wants to do. It really is. It's too big for its core demographic. It's too big for the people wanting to meet the creators that they want to meet. I really wish that, this whole ramble aside, I really wish that TanaCon had actually gone off without a hitch, because that would have been amazing. That would have been competition for VidCon. Better luck next time. As a reward for sitting through my ramblings, here are a few more clips of what happened at TanaCon.
So this is what happened at TanaCon.
Oh my god.
Like, we were in the sun for 5 hours.
When I decided to come to TanaCon on an impulse, I spent $2,000 to fly from Hawaii.
In line at TanaCon. What hour are we on, guys? 4. Hour 4.
This show couldn't get any worse.
I need you guys all to step this way for me, please.